What is going on, guys? Derek here, Wilson Audio Labs. Call this the 5-channel frenzy, and we have a new one today. Sundown Audio SFB-1800.5D. Let's unbox it, take a look, and see what it's all about. Here you can see we get Allen's keys and a few mounting screws. We also get one of the coolest bass knobs available. It has the power light, it has a clip indicator, it has a metal potentiometer. Very, very nice bass knob. We really like this one. It does have the telephone style connector on the back, so you don't have to worry about it pulling out. So yes, we approve of this one. And of course you get the connection cable, so you can hook it up in the back of your car and run the cable to the front. This amp is currently going for $429 on Down for Sound. Check out the link in the video description below. However, do not read the ratings on the box because they are not right. We will talk about that again here very soon. The amp is set up so you can see the SFB-1800.5 either way, so you can mount the amp one way or the other, and it still looks like it's correct, if that makes any sense at all. On one end of the amp here, we have the power and ground connections, but we also have some speaker connections. We'll get to that in a minute. 1 alt power and ground and a remote terminal in the middle. On the other side, we have the speaker output. This is the sub speaker channel output in addition to a fan. On the opposite side, we got a lot of stuff going on here. Let's see if I can get through it. First off, you'll notice the RCA input jacks are vertical for channels 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then for channel 5, they're horizontal. That may confuse you a little bit, but I'm just showing you here how they work. Also, you'll notice they're all Tiffany style, and you'll notice all the potentiometers here are metal, which we really like. Now let's look here at channels 1 through 4. You can see there's a high pass, low pass, a gain. There's a crossover switch between high pass, flat, and low pass and band pass. In addition, channels 3 and 4 have a bass boost. Now channel 5 has also a high and low level crossover, a gain, then it has a boost as well from 0 to 12 dB, and there's also the connection there for the remote bass terminal. Also on this side you'll have the speaker outputs for the 4-channel mode. These are side by side instead of the over and under that some of the other 5-channel amps have had. But yeah, you can fit up to 8-gauge wire in there. And here you can see the remote bass knob connected, and here's how it connects to the back of the unit. Again, very solid. We're going to talk about the bass knob when we get a little bit further into the test. You can see how it works. As far as dimensions go, 12.5 inches by 9 inches, but you will need to add some additional width there for the terminals and for connecting your wires. For the height, 2.75 inches or 70 millimeters. The official ratings for this amp at 4 ohms, 200 by 4 plus 250 by 1. At 2 ohms, 300 by 4 plus 500 times 1. And then 1 ohm, the sub-channel only is 1 ohm capable at 1000 watts times 1. Again, do not go by the ratings on the box as they are not right. Hey, did I get the memo?
Did you see the memo about this?
Yeah. Did you get that memo? Get that memo? Get that memo?
You big dummy!
I unfortunately did not get that memo, so stick around to the very end of the video and you'll see what happens. So make sure you smash me a thumbs up. Check out the link in the video description to pick up some Wilson Audio merch. First up, let's do the 4-channel mode. We're going to test the 4 channels individually. It's rated 200 watts by 4. The sub-channel is also loaded at 4 ohms. Here we go, 40 hertz for all these tracks, so that's going to load down every single channel, rated 200 by 4. And yes, 208 and 212. Yeah, way to go, that's what I'm talking about. Now let's try uncertified up to clipping. Again, 40 hertz track here. All the channels are loaded at 4 ohms. 210, nope, 211 and 214. 211 and 217. Add a little bit there at the end. Let's reset the dyno for the dynamic track. Send a pulse tone into the amp. 40 hertz track. On the 4-channel side, this is probably not where most of you are going to be playing the 4 channels, but we're going to test it anyway. 208 and 213. So easily got the rated numbers. Now let's try the sub-channel at 4 ohms, rated 250 watts at 14.4. Again, all the other channels are loaded down, so this is a fully loaded test. And yeah, 433 watts, 14.54. So we easily got that rated power plus more. Uncertified takes us up to the clipping point of the amp. We should get a little bit more, and we did, 437 at 14.54. Now let's try dynamic. Send a pulse track into the amp. And once again, easily get a couple hundred watts over that rated 250 watts. Now we also ran this amp 4 ohms at 1 kilohertz for the stereo channels. You can see 228 and 221. So overall this amp performed very well at 4 ohms. Now let's try it wired at 2 ohms. It's rated 300/4. We also have this sub channel loaded at 2 ohms to give us an accurate measurement here. So see if we can get this 300/4. And yes, 328, 329. Notice how close the amp channels are. That's very impressive. Usually with multi-channel amps like that, you do not get the channels quite that close. So I was impressed by that. Uncertified takes us up to the clipping point again, 40 hertz track. Most people are not going to be running 40 hertz on their 4-channel section. 347 times 4. Yeah, boy. We liking this. All right, let's rewire it one more time via the push buttons. And let's try the dynamic track. Ooh, there we go. Over some 350s. Check that out. 349 and 358 right at 14.4 volts. Now again, we're going to try this at 1 kilohertz just to see what the difference is, because that's really not going to load the sub channel down. 367, 373 at 14.5 volts. Now we'll try the sub channel at 2 ohms. It's rated 500 watts. The other channels are loaded at 2 ohms as well. Let's see what we get here. We almost got 500 watts at 4 ohms, so we expect more. Yes, 678 right at 14.4. So you're getting what you pay for plus a little more. That's always a good thing. We like getting more than what we pay for, don't we? Yes, we do. Uncertified, 687 at 14.46. 187 watts over the rated power. So we're just over here smiling. Let's try dynamic. Send a pulse tone. Ooh, over 700. Look at this. 702, 704. Keep going. Nope, 704, 14.34 volts. Now, the sub channel is the only one rated at 1 ohm, rated 1,000 watts, and we have the other channels loaded at 2 ohms for this test. So let's try certified first, and there we go. 1,046 watts, 14.56. Now, some of you may notice the voltage was a little bit high there. So we're going to test it again after we do all the tests at a little bit lower voltage to prove that it does do the power at 14.4. Uncertified, 1,076 right at 14.4. So again, it does the rated power plus a little bit more on that sub channel. Dynamically, 40 hertz pulse track. It does have some dynamic headroom on the amplifier. That's always a good thing. 1,249 watts at 14.46. Now let's let that voltage sag just a little bit and try that certified run again. And there you go, 1,012 watts, 14.37. That's as close as you can get to 14.4. Well, maybe not the closest. If you had actually got 14.4, that would have been the closest. But anyway, let's check out the results. And we will highlight the certified sections. You can see performed beyond the specifications in each of the measurements. So we dig that where an amp actually does what it tells you it's going to do. Now, the question everybody's asking is, do it bump though? Let's do a few test tracks and find out. All right, let's try a little luck witch. All right, we got the Sundown 5-channel amp. We have the 4-channel mode disconnected, just doing the subs here. We're going to try out the woofer test, and we also have the bass remote, see if it'll get into clipping at all. So here we go. Let's start off the woofer test. All right, so if you couldn't tell by those demos, amp did well, powered the subwoofers well, and actually sounded good on the highs. Now let's check out the internals of the amp. Take out the 6 screws on the bottom, including getting rid of that warranty sticker. Pull it off, and yep, it looks very similar to a lot of the full bridge style amplifiers. You can see the 2 transformers, you can see the caps there. We're going to look at the specs on the caps here. We have 2 63 volt 4700 microfarad. We have 2 80 volt 2200 microfarad caps. You can also see the additional components here. You see the chokes, and well, here is a crossover section on the daughter boards, and here's just a flyover of the amp. You can see here. Now let's check out the pros and cons. First up, we're going to talk about the good stuff. It is a powerhouse 5-channel amp, if I can talk. 1.0 inputs. It has extremely flexible crossovers with low pass, high pass, band pass, off and on, everything that you would ever want. Tiffany style RCAs that we love. Remote bass knob with a clip indicator that's highly, highly accurate. Metal potentiometers, and being at $429, it's pretty affordable as well. Things that could be better. I wish it would have the 2-channel input and give you the full output, but you have to use at least 4 inputs. The sub-channel speaker output is on the opposite side, which is kind of odd. The ratings on the box are incorrect. I really wish they would have put a note inside the box to tell us that. It's acceptable to noise on my bench. I did get some charging noise, and there's some sounds coming from the amp. You're going to have to watch after the credits here to see what I'm talking about there. But overall, the amp performed very well, sounded good. I can easily recommend this amplifier. I think it's a great deal for the money. And, just the bass knob with the clipping indicator is going to save people a lot of subwoofers. Thanks you guys for watching. Until next time, Big D, I'm out of here. Check this. So, sad but true here. It's sad but true. We can hear it. Is it coming through the transformers or is it the choke? I think it's the transformer. So unfortunately, I did not get the memo. Here is what happened to my first Sundown 5-channel amp.
Did you see the memo about this?
Yeah. Did you get that memo? Get that memo? Get that memo?
All right, let's try the amp. 2 ohms bridge on the 4-channel mode. It's going to simulate 1 ohm stereo load. And according to the ratings, 460 by 2 is what it's rated, or 230 by 4 at 1 ohm. So let's do the 40 hertz test. All the different tests. Here we go. What? 798 and 741. Holy crap. Oh my. All right, 2 ohms up to clipping, 40 hertz. Oh, it blew up. It blew up. No. went up in smoke. Oh man, it blew up. Look at that power though. 928,875. Yep, it popped. That is a freaking shame, my friends. That is a shame. I didn't even get to do the other tests.
Did you see the memo about this?
Yeah. Did you get that memo? Get that memo? Get that memo?
There's the boom. See some color going on there. It would be the power supply. Transistors blowed up. It wasn't as fiery or smelly as most of the amp explosions I have, so kudos for that. There's your warning. Don't run this amp at 1 ohm on the 4-channel section. Bad things will happen. And yeah, so make sure you read the updated manual on the Sundown website. Big D out.